the Loop. Today I'm here with Josh Nugent of O.F.F Fly Fishing Outfitters. We're here in Southern Alberta, and this river looks awesome. We're about to go catch some cutthroats and bull trout, and I'm super excited. It's my first time fishing in Canada, so it's gonna be great.
These systems that we have can be incredible for big fish. We can get some really good hatches here, but one of the neat things about these rivers too is they do see a fair bit of pressure, and so you're having to learn how to fish behind people, how to fish the water that everyone else has overlooked, how to fish water that is too tough for most people to get a drift in. That's where the big fish are gonna sit. So one of the big things that we can try and do for Hunter here is getting him into fish where you're not always gonna be the first one that's fished a pool, you're not always gonna be the first one to fish a run. So how can we actually get Hunter into fish that someone else might have cast through there before, or someone else has fished this water? How are you gonna pick up the big fish in this water? How are you gonna make those more technical casts that everyone else has overlooked?
Yeah, in competition, you're dealing with this kind of stuff all the time. Sometimes fishing behind four of the best people in the world, and you gotta find that one place sometime in the river that harbors one fish that you need to land to avoid a blank. So this is definitely great practice for me. It's stuff that I really need to get accustomed to be successful.
What we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna be doing a bunch of dry fly fishing. We've got two major hatches that are happening. The golden stone hatch is just kind of tapering off, and we're getting into our green drake hatch as well.
Welcome to In the Loop.
Hunter got his first cast over a fish, raised a real nice fish, put another cast over it, and had a look from that fish and couldn't get that fish to eat. And then before we even got a chance to move, it started raining as we're getting off that rock. More hail than I've ever seen there. I mean, it was like Christmas in July today.
So we went straight in this morning, the first place that we fished, behind two other anglers that were about 100 yards upstream from us. And that's just typical things that you have to deal with on pressured fish in competition, because every fish has seen enormous pressure, because you have one person working a small piece of water for 3 hours right before you. So it's good practice to catch some pressured fish.
One of the biggest keys to getting big fish on these mountain streams is being able to fish the water that's hard to get a good drift in, the water that other people have avoided fishing, the water that other people have walked right by because they don't know how to get a drag-free drift. Because with these fish, if your fly's dragging, it's going to educate them in a hurry that that's not a real insect, and they're going to ignore it, even if you get a perfect drift 2 casts later. So it's really learning to get a good drag-free drift, even if it's short, even if it's only 1 or 2 seconds in those pockets. And that was what Hunter was working on this morning, throwing those reach casts, being able to fish that difficult to reach water, because that's where the bigger fish are going to hold up. The small 12 to 14 inch fish are going to be lying through the pools and the really obvious water, but we've got Hunter up here because we want him to start targeting these big fish. The river blew out in a hurry, a lot of mud came down. The nice thing is that those mountain streams, they should clear up overnight. Tomorrow we'll take a fresh start, we'll go at the river again. There's probably going to be some color in it, but it should be clean enough and fishable that we'll try and get Hunter some big fish and be able to start targeting some of these trophy trout. We'll go check the mountains first thing. If it's fishable, we're going to try and get him into a bull trout and try and chase some bulls in the morning before the cutties really start going. Mother Nature's unpredictable. She can be fickle, but you deal with the cards you dealt, right? There's a ridge, and in the backside of those ridges, those fish will sit on those. Okay, what I want you to do is cast up in that foam line and let it run down that foam line. We've got Hunter up here because we want him to start targeting these big fish.
Fishy right there, man.
What's that? There's the fish. There you go, man. There you go, man. Sometimes if these fish are aggressive, there's no fly you can keep away from them. When that fish grabs that fly, you hit them hard. Awesome! Congrats, buddy. No way! That's huge! Beauty,